This is a Radio Dog podcast production. Welcome to the Rick Dollar Show podcast. Here's a guy who thought those voices in his head sounded familiar. Your host, Rick Dollar.
Hey folks, a few weeks ago, I got to sit down with a good friend of mine, Spencer Hatcher. This dude is going to be a country star for sure. And this is how that went. Rick Dollar here for the Rick Dollar Show. And my guest today is Mr. Spencer Hatcher. Spencer, how are you, buddy? You're taking the country music world by storm right now.
Yes, sir. Well, certainly trying to. I'm doing really great. Everything that I get to do, it's a real blessing, including being here on the Rick Dollar Show today. So I certainly appreciate you having me.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. I think the first time I ever heard anything about Spencer Hatcher was I kept seeing this cat posting stuff on Fans of the Rick Dollar Show page, and I was like, wow, this guy's way too good to be doing this.
Yes, sir. Yeah, for years, social media was kind of what I had to really expand my audience. It was the height of COVID when I first started pursuing country really hard. And so I did pretty much the only thing I thought I could, and that was take to social media and the Rick Dollar Show fan page, that the Facebook page popped up, and I was like, well, I'm just going to start sharing to it. I don't know who's on it. I hope that they don't mind. And so I did. And for years, I've been posting to the Rick Dollar Show.
Hey, dude, I hadn't cut you loose yet. I think you're doing a good job. I mean, I saw some of the best just flat picking and banjo playing. I don't know who the dude was that was on there with you all the time, but you guys had a good thing going on there, man. The synergy between you two is unreal.
Yes, sir. Well, that's actually it's my younger brother, and he is still my full-time bass player. He plays bass for me in my country arrangement. He plays upright when we play bluegrass, and we've been performing together for, I guess this year makes 14 years.
Gosh, man, that's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me ask you some really high tech questions here. What's it like going out with Hank Jr.?
Incredible. I
I can imagine.
totally dream come true. Like, you don't even have to be a country fan to know who Hank Williams Jr.
Oh,
is.
man.
I mean, he's an icon and a legend, and he's always been in my top five all-time favorite country artists. Um, so when I got the call that my label, they were like, "Hey man, you're going to go out with Hank Jr. for 2 dates," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" The same day they called me, that same day, and they said another one just rolled in for Diamond Rio and Zach Top. And I was like, dude, this is absolutely insane. Like, it was all one day. We were starting to get the summer schedule put together, and I get Hank Jr., Diamond Rio, Zach Top all in one day. And we've gotten some other really, really cool ones coming, but those three heavy hitters, it was insane. And so people, they were asking me, like, what do you think? Like, can you not wait to go out with Zach, or is it Diamond Rio or Hank? And I was like, man, I'm wildly excited for all of them, but Hank Jr., like, I grew up on him. And to get to be on the same stage, and then when the posters started coming out and Spencer Hatcher and my picture was next to Hank Williams Jr., I mean, totally just a dream come true. And it was an incredible experience. Biggest audience I'd ever gotten to play for up to that point. And it was just amazing.
Well, if you think about it, though, I mean, I've heard interviews with, Lainey Wilson and people like that, and they're saying, you know, some of their biggest memories being in the business was the first time they went out with a major icon, in the country music industry. And, so it's, I guess, quote unquote, this is your break, and that's going to lead to bigger things. Are you going to be ready for that?
Oh, yes, sir. I can tell you, I've been saying it for the last 2 years. I'm so ready for it. Whenever it wants to happen, I'm ready because I mean, we've played so many shows. I've been in front of cameras. I've, done the TV stuff, and it's like building yourself up to where you actually break, when
Yeah.
you finally break free and you make it. it takes so much, and I especially pushed the live shows extremely hard. I was an independent artist for 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, before my label called me down and wanted me to perform for them, and I got signed. Um, in those 4 years, we did just over 500 shows.
Wow.
The first year was about 20 shows in 2020, as the market was still shut down. I don't know if anybody else was playing shows in 2020,
Yeah.
but I was able to book about 20 shows. The following year, we did 70, then just over 140. And then in 2023 and 2024, we did over 150 shows each one of those years.
Crap.
And I mean, we raked in about 500 shows in 4 years and got the stage time. We've been in front of the audiences. And so I've been saying it, man, there's not an audience you could put me in front of that would intimidate me at this point, because we've done some high pressure, scary ones. We've played for 0 people, we've played for 10,000 people, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm ready whenever it wants to happen, man. I'm so ready for it, and I've been very, very blessed up to this point. And whenever God says, "All right, Spencer, I'm cutting you loose. Now's your time," I'm like, "Thank you. I'm ready."
That's it, man. I mean, I'm telling you, you are on fire for what you're doing, dude. And that's, you know, to me, seeing an artist that's just this excited about going out and being in front of people and wanting to further their career, that's what it takes for longevity, I
Yes,
think,
sir.
in this business. And I'm talking about the music business in general.
Hey, podcast fans, are you ready to unleash something different? Welcome to the Radio Dogs Podcast Network, where the conversations are real, the stories are authentic, and entertainment never stops. From music legends to rising stars, from unforgettable interviews to laugh out loud moments, and stories that matter. Radio Dogs delivers podcasts that keep your ears and your imagination working overtime. Whether you're driving down the highway, hitting the gym, or just kicking back at home, we've got a show that's made for you. And here's the best part. We're always adding new shows, so don't settle for ordinary. Fetch something better. Search Radio Dogs Podcast Network wherever you get your podcasts.
But being out with Hank Jr. and Zach Top, I mean, Zach Top, we were interviewing him when he did his first bluegrass record forever ago. But I think that was in 2020, because I started the podcast in order to promote the radio show. And a buddy of mine that did bluegrass records called me up one day and he said, "You got to interview this guy, Zach Top." I said, "Sure, I'll take your word for it." And it was the coolest thing. He'd come home every day and he'd pop a top on a Coors Light. Hopefully we don't have to pay Coors Light for that. But
Right.
and he would drink it, take a drink, and man, we would just have the best conversations.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, he was just like you. He had that fire in his belly. And if he ever tells you that you remind him of you, that is a huge compliment, because you remind me of Zach Top, the way that you're doing things and the way that you want to go out there and, and beat the doors down and say, "Hey, look, I'm over here,"
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and me and Zach hit it off. Like when I opened for him, I made it a point, of course, to go and meet him and talk to him.
Yeah.
And we got to have a conversation for a little while. I mean, it's always tight schedule backstage, but I was still explaining to him that he and I have mutual friends. We know right many of the same people. We were both in bluegrass at the same time. Really, the only difference is he's always kind of played the guitar, and I gravitated towards the banjo. But
Yeah.
I mean, we've played the same bluegrass stages, and now we've shared a stage in country music, and it's totally been incredible. He's a phenomenal guy and a great guy to get to open for. So it's
Yeah.
quite the compliment, to be compared to him at all.
Yeah. Something else, man. I'm telling you, it's just crazy. Now, you had a single out, "When She Calls Me Cowboy." That was another time that you were gravitated more toward me. I don't know if it's the algorithm or whatever it is, but great song. How did that one
Thank
come? How did that one come about? And who helped you write it, or did you pick that up from somebody else?
Yeah, that was actually a pitch to me when I first got to town. I signed on with my record label. It was July of 2024,
Mm-hmm.
and life started moving so fast and has ever since that date.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, Spencer, we need to get you recording quick. And I'd been writing some of my own songs, but to the caliber of how I'm writing them now, it didn't, I've grown as a songwriter
Mm-hmm.
now. So what we did was because I'm very traditional and I have an older school sound to my country music. They reached out to these guys that were writing the hits for Merle Haggard, George Jones, Keith Whitley, Hank, and all of these guys, George Strait, these people. These songs had been sitting around Nashville for years and
Mm-hmm.
years. That music hasn't been around for 25, 30 years. And so there's a stockpile of these songs, and my label reached out and was like, "Hey, pitch us your best songs for if you were going to pitch to George Strait, send us those songs." And "When She Calls Me Cowboy" was one of them, and I mean, it's an incredible song written by some huge hit songwriters. And when I listened to it, I was like, "Man, this is killer!" Like I loved it, my label loved it, and so we pretty much went straight into the studio with that and a couple other songs, and cut it, and it went over so well, and the feedback that we were getting um, was so good that we decided to go to country radio with it. It was the very first song I ever had at country radio, and um, it's been a very, very good song to me.
Oh yeah. The 10 most added songs in the US for country radio.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, that's unreal. You just don't get that out of the box, man. And you've done that. You've accomplished that already. And so I don't know exactly what your aspirations are, but I want you to give me a insight into Spencer Hatcher's head and let
Yeah,
me
well,
know. It's not a very empty place, I don't think.
no,
I think
no,
I think you got things going on in there, you know.
yes, sir. My mind is always just running.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just runs and runs, and I absolutely have some pretty huge aspirations. I've always been
Yeah.
a big dreamer, and my philosophy's always been I'm just going to work as hard as I possibly can, but maybe harder than everybody else around me, and just pray that's what'll do it. And so that's been my philosophy for the last 6 years. And it's like my aspirations, I would say, are like I say, they're pretty big, but three major goals, two very attainable, and then once I hit these two goals, it's going to be to the moon. So the first one is I'd like to have my own set. You get like two or three songs at the Grand Ole Opry, but
Yeah.
I want them to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Hatcher." Me and my guys walk out, and we get to have our own two or three songs to perform at the Opry. That's always been a dream. And then I'd really like a true number one hit in country music. If I can do those two things, I'm going to be, you know, really that's the two major goals that I have, just a number one hit and then play the Opry. And when I do those two things, it then becomes Country Music Hall of Fame, which you can see everything in between that. You've had lots and lots of success and many, many number ones. So the ultimate goal is Country Music Hall of Fame as someone
Yeah.
that preserved country and kept it true to its roots, and maybe helped bring back or was part of the revival of the true country music sound in a time of bro country and pop country.
Sure.
I'd like to be known as more of a purist, in that sense. Like,
Welcome to my Appalachian home, where the mountains speak through the stories, music, and memories passed through generations. I'm Rick Dollar, and each episode takes you deep into the heart of Appalachia. From front porch conversations, traditions, and voices that make this region unlike anywhere else in America. So pull up a chair, settle in, and come on home to Appalachia. Hey, if you love real music played by real musicians, it's time you experience a night at Randy Wood's Old Time Pickin' Parlor in Bloomingdale, Georgia. This legendary listening room is where world-class pickers, bluegrass greats, Americana artists, singer-songwriters, and roots musicians take the stage to play the music the way it was meant to be heard, up close, personal, and full of soul. No big arena distractions here, just great sound, great people, and unforgettable live performances in one of the most respected acoustic venues anywhere. Whether it's blazing banjo, sweet harmonies, or a hot fiddle tune that gets your heart going, you'll find it on stage at Randy Wood's. Make plans now to catch an upcoming show. Bring some friends and be part of the music tradition that keeps on living. Randy Wood's Old Time Pick and Parlor, Bloomingdale, Georgia, where the music never gets old. Check upcoming performances and ticket info online, and we'll see you at the Pick and Parlor.
I said when I first came up with my label, one requirement is I got to have the pedal steel. And we have that at every single live show. We have fiddle as well on all the records. So it's very country, and the aspirations continue to grow. So, as I check each one of those things off, it'll just continue to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think that all of those things are attainable for you. I think the Opry thing is something that so many people covet. They want that so bad.
Yes, sir.
And that's probably going to be the most nervous you're going to be doing 3 songs.
Absolutely.
You're ever going to be,
Oh, absolutely.
Or maybe when Vince walks in the door in the dressing room,
gosh,
wants
yeah.
to pick with you for a minute,
Yeah, that would be terrifying too. But I mean, I've thought about it. Like I've put myself in the position of, all right, Spencer, you're up next to go out on the Opry, and just, I go to the Opry now that I'm living in Nashville. Like every chance I get, I go to the Opry and I just watch the people and I study, and I kind of dream myself, about when that day will be and what it'll be like to step out on that stage and in that circle and sing to that audience. And I pray that it's just at the right time, and people love the music as much as I hope they do.
And I think it will be. It's going to be at the right time. They're not going to, your management people and your label and people like that in your life right now are not going to put you out there too early or too late. There's a timing for all of that stuff. And everybody at the Grand Ole Opry, I'm sure they're just like the rest of the world. They loved, old country, whatever you want to call it. They like that kind of music, and it's coming back. I grew up listening to that in the house with my dad all the time.
Sure.
He was big on all of that stuff. And I think your aspirations are very attainable, but I think you gotta, it's a very hard thing to be as excited and you're just like a horse coming out of the gate, dude. But there's always a rider. There's always that guy behind you pulling the reins back a little bit. Oh, okay, you're going too fast now.
Yes, sir.
But it's hard to listen to people right now in this time that you're in. And I would just say enjoy it. Keep writing songs. The more successful you are, the more successful those songwriters are going to be. So they're going to come to you and say, hey, man, I've got another song for you. And,
yes, sir.
That's, have you ever heard of Tony Arata?
I have.
Yeah. Tony writes a lot of good songs. We're supposed to be doing an interview with him at Randy Wood Guitars down here in Savannah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
If you've got anything you can send me, that maybe you could send to me, I'll kind of let him have it and see what he thinks.
Yes, sir.
He's still writing hit songs, dude. This guy's been doing it for a long time. And
golly.
Yeah, man, I'd be happy to. I think you deserve the chance. Not
well,
that anybody else doesn't, but you in particular have you've worked hard to get where you are. So like I said, if you want to drop me something off, or we'll talk, I'll send you an email or something to let you know where to send it to.
Yes, sir. Well, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man, it's no problem whatsoever. Um, Sometimes in life you have to, uh, I don't know how to say this. I guess you have to put money into something that you think is going to be gainful in the future. But this is me saying, this is what I can do for Spencer Hatcher uh, in the country industry, you know?
Well, hey, absolutely. And it means the world that you'd be willing to do anything. You know, the people that helped me out and that have been part of my team during this time, it's like nobody has to be doing it. You know, nobody
Oh,
has to believe in me. Nobody has to do anything. And there's it's proof that there's still good and kindness in the world when
oh yeah.
people believe in somebody that's nobody yet. And so for me, you know, one thing that I've never been able to understand is the guys that get that help and then they make it. And
Mm.
then they forget the people that got them to where they are. And I know of a couple of artists that have done that. And it's like,
There's a place tucked away in the mountains where time slows down just enough for you to catch your breath. And that place is Marion, Virginia. Known as America's coolest hometown, Marion blends rich Appalachian heritage with a fresh, vibrant energy that you can feel the moment you arrive. Stroll historic Main Street. Take in a live show at the beautifully restored Lincoln Theater, or explore great outdoors along the scenic Hungry Mother Park, where the views are so unforgettable. Whether you're chasing live music, small town charm, or a weekend escape that feels like home, Marion delivers it all with a handshake and a smile. So pack up, head for the hills, and discover why folks don't just visit Marion, they come back again and again. Plan your trip today and experience Marion, Virginia, where the mountains meet the music.
it couldn't be me in a thousand different lifetimes. I could never fathom turning your back on people that got you to where you are. It's like the
Yeah.
fans, my friends, my family, the people that have supported me since day one. It's like you have to take care of those people because they've taken care of you
Yeah.
basically at your smallest, you know, at the
Exactly.
lowest point of your career, which is basically the start.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything anybody's ever willing to do is I'm just very, very grateful for. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Hey, no problem. It's not an issue. It's something that you feel like that you need to do inside sometimes, and a lot of people just kind of push those feelings away a lot of time because I don't have time, or I don't know if I want to do that or not, you know.
Yes, sir.
But you know, sometimes you got to look back and say, yeah, this is a deserved thing. This person deserves, you know, getting these connections, and so don't worry about that, man.
Well,
Kudos.
I
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
yeah, nope, not a problem at all. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I mean, I know you're going to have some new material coming out. You're going to be hitting the road. Um, but where do you want to be? I mean, you got to make yourself happy,
Yes, sir.
you know, in life because nobody else can do that for you.
No, absolutely.
So,
In 5 years, I'd like to have already had a couple of hits,
mhm,
you know, four, three or
yeah.
four, five hits. I definitely one number one and to have already played the Opry.
Mhm.
All that stuff in 5 years. And, you know, hopefully just very, very well received by the people. I mean, I do this because I want people to love my music as much as what I love music, but the
Yeah.
stuff that I create is true to me. And so, you know, hopefully in 5 years I can do 5,000 or 10,000 people hard tickets, you know, go to an amphitheater and put 10,000 people in. I mean, that's truly where I'd like to be in 5 years. I'd like to have the number one and a couple other hits and that's yeah, just continually working and doing what I love and knowing that it's working out. You know, if in 5 years it was like I was still at this same point, I would be disappointed because every single year I always push myself as hard as I possibly can, and I always want to be in the green and see growth. So in 5 years, I absolutely have plans to be on up there a good bit. You know, be able to look back to this point right now and be proud.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one thing you got to look at is, are you happy? Are you happy with where you are? As you know, the old stories, we can all be as so successful and this is, I've done this and I've done that. And, but being able to look at yourself in the mirror every morning and say, yeah, I think this is where I need to be,
Yes, sir.
You're following your spiritual life. You're following God. And I have to commend you for that. A lot of guys won't get on, a national podcast or a radio show and talk about those kind of things. But, God bless you, man. I hope everything works out for you because I really feel like somebody in your life has instilled these things in you. And, to me, it was always my grandfather. He was like the dude that he seemed to know everything. and I'm like, I'm getting a little bit older now, but I'm thinking, oh, so that's how he figured that out.
Yeah.
He already knew.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely have had those people in my life,
Oh, yeah.
and you're right. Oftentimes it's family, it's somebody that you look up to. It was my parents, it was my grandparents,
Oh, yeah.
At an early age, I was always very curious, just as I am now. I kind of take the approach of a student in most things that I do, where obviously I don't have all the knowledge of. So
Right.
if I go in a room with somebody that has been very successful, well, to me, I'm a student and I wanna listen and learn from these people that can teach me. And there's a lot of people too that don't think that way. They start thinking that they've learned it all or something like that. And that's when you start your downfall. That's the start of the downfall right there. When you think you've learned it all in anything. But yeah, my family was very stern on kind of standing up for what you believe, and you can't be scared just because other people have a problem with it. And so when I make it, the people that I know are buying my tickets are people that think like me, and that's the kind of crew that you want out there. I will never ever put on a mask
Yeah.
so that I can go out on a stage and perform. I'll never be fake. Like what you see is what you get, and it's always been that way.
Man, that's great to hear. It's great to hear. All right, young man, many blessings to you. I hope everything works out for you just the way you want it to.
Thank you.
But I think you're on the right road, man. And if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. Okay.
Well, yes, sir. I certainly will. And, thank you so much for your time. And after all these years, we've finally gotten to meet.
Exactly.
And I'm very grateful for it. Hopefully we can do it again in the future.
Oh, yeah, man. Anytime. Just give me a yell. Okay.
All right. Yes, sir. I certainly will.
All right. Rick Dollar here for the Rick Dollar Show, and I've been with Mr. Spencer Hatcher.
This has been the Rick Dollar Show podcast. The Rick Dollar Show podcast is produced by Radio Dog Productions. Theme music is written and performed by Jeremy Garrett at garrettgrass.com. The Rick Dollar Show podcast cannot be reproduced or rebroadcast without express written consent from Radio Dog Productions. I'm Kent Jones, and this has been a Radio Dog production.